During the height of World War II, British pilots flew missions deep into enemy territory, fully aware that a single hit to the engine, a violent storm, or, well, one wrong bearing, could send them crashing into occupied Europe. Survival wasn't guaranteed, but capture wasn't the end either. What most people don't realize is that these men carried something remarkable hidden within their uniforms. A secret survival kit so well designed that even if captured, their chances of escaping remained alive. These kits were the invention of MI9, a little-known branch of British intelligence dedicated not to gathering information, but to helping airmen evade capture and return home. And what they created remains one of the most brilliant examples of ingenuity in modern warfare. Hutton's creative process drew heavily from his background in illusion and theatre. He knew that, well, people rarely question what seems ordinary, and he used that psychological blind spot to craft his designs. He worked closely with British manufacturers, tailors, and even magicians to create escape tools indistinguishable from everyday items. Razor blades were engraved with microscopic markings that could only be seen under polarized lenses, revealing escape coordinates. Ordinary playing cards could be soaked in water to peel apart, revealing silk maps of enemy territories hidden between layers of paper. Even seemingly innocent items like pencils could hide miniature saws or compasses within their casings. One of MI9's most ingenious operations involved the use of board games to deliver contraband to prisoner-of-war camps. Partnering with the makers of Monopoly, Hutton developed special game sets that contained real escape equipment. Beneath the game board were silk maps. Under the play, money was genuine currency from neutral countries, and inside the metal tokens, like the car and the dog, were tiny compasses. The games were distributed through fake charities and Red Cross channels, reaching prisoners across Europe. Many men who later escaped German camps owed their freedom to a seemingly harmless family board game. For the pilots who carried these kits into combat, knowing they existed was more than just reassurance. It was psychological armor. Being shot down behind enemy lines meant facing hunger, cold, and constant pursuit. But knowing you had a compass button, a hidden map, or gold sewn into your boot meant you had a fighting chance. Before deployment, pilots trained extensively with MI9 instructors to memorize how to access their hidden tools discreetly. They learned to use the stars for navigation, to mark direction using small twigs, and to rely on the coins to barter for food or guidance. Every pilot who trained under MI9 understood one rule. You were never unarmed if you were prepared. Countless real-world escapes proved how effective these covert designs were. Squadron leader John Mott was shot down over southern France in 1942. Using a silk map sewn into his jacket and a compass button, he navigated hundreds of miles through occupied territory, crossing the Pyrenees into Spain. He later credited MI9's preparations for saving his life. His story became one of many that demonstrated how planning, ingenuity, and small inventions could outweigh brute force. The brilliance of these survival kits lies not only in their craftsmanship, but in the philosophy behind them. MI9's approach teaches 3 timeless lessons still relevant to modern survivalists and preppers. The first is concealment, keeping essential tools integrated into everyday objects. A modern example might be a paracord bracelet woven with fishing line, a flint striker and a cutting wire, or a belt that conceals a microblade or emergency currency. And the second lesson is versatility. Every item should serve multiple purposes. RAF pilots use soap as waterproofing, silk maps as both navigation and bandages, and buttons as compasses. That same principle applies today when a single object can double as shelter material, first aid or defence. The third, and perhaps most important lesson, is mindset. Preparation isn't paranoia, it's foresight. The British didn't rely on luck or rescue. They equipped themselves for the worst before the mission began. Today, many of these original kits rest behind glass in the Imperial War Museum in London. Visitors can study the silk maps, compasses and buttons that once hid 1,000 hopes. To most, they look like relics of a bygone era. But to those who understand what they meant, they remain symbols of human ingenuity under fire. Every secret compartment, every folded map, every hidden coin reflected the refusal to surrender to circumstance. They turned the act of survival into an art form. The story of Mi-9's hidden pilot kits isn't just about wartime trickery. It's about resilience and imagination in the face of overwhelming odds. It reminds us that true preparedness isn't about stockpiles or weapons, but about knowledge, adaptability and foresight. The men who carried these secret tools into battle understood something vital. Survival is built long before disaster strikes. If you found this look into Britain's wartime survival ingenuity as fascinating as the history it preserved, make sure to subscribe to The Untold Battle and share this story with fellow historians and survival enthusiasts. The more we uncover these forgotten innovations, the more we understand what real courage and preparation truly mean.